By the way, Raoul, talking of price, I know you have some charts that you'd like to take a look at on Bitcoin, on Ethereum. These are, to me, we were looking at them offline, off camera earlier. They're really fascinating.
Yeah, look, I have said this recently. I'm incredibly wildly bullish about the space and have been, you know, in the last few months. And I've been saying this point, everything is going to about to start breaking out. And we've seen this happen before. We know the pattern. This October, November, December, probably January, February, March is going to be the point where it's almost impossible to lose money by owning anything. It's that point in the risk cycle where maximum risk is seeking is coming. And we've had this long period of sideways consolidation, and now we're going to see the fireworks. And I'm going to show you what I mean by the fireworks. So the first chart I'm going to show you is Bitcoin's price versus 2012-13 bull market. I've been using this for over a year, and it's uncanny how it's worked. And that shows you exactly what I'm talking about, that the latter part of the year is a huge run. This tells you it could go up to 250,000 if it repeated the same pattern. I actually think there's an upside potential into next year because of the changing structure of the markets, because institutions tend to allocate at quarter ends. They will have seen the FOMO of this quarter, and many will be looking for the opportunity to invest in the new year, 2022. So hedge funds and institutions will be allocating money in January, and I think it creates a second leg to this, along with the ETF. So that chart is incredible. The other one that's really got my focus, as everybody knows, has been Ethereum. Ethereum's been in this sideways consolidation since May. It's just about to break out of a wedge pattern. These kind of patterns, when they break, tend to be explosive in move. And guess what? Ethereum is exactly following Bitcoin over an extended period of time. We're talking 6 years here of Bitcoin's previous run. So again, it just suggests that Ethereum can get up to 20,000. Again, I actually think it exceeds this, but it just shows you what the back end of the year or going out into March can look like. If you want to see it in regular price terms, it kind of looks like this. That's not on the log chart, which is, again, mind-blowing in terms of performance. And then obviously the bear market steps in after that. The bigger part of this picture is I like to use logarithmic trends with regression channels, because it shows you, for these exponential assets, things that are cheap and expensive versus trend. So interestingly enough, the entire crypto market cap, around 2 trillion, is actually 2 standard deviations oversold. Now, this chart is like a few weeks out of date, but it's basically 2 standard deviations oversold. By the peak of a bull market, we tend to get 2 standard deviations overbought. So at 2 trillion, it's likely to get to like March at 10 trillion. So that's the 5x of the entire space, which is kind of interesting. And that makes me very, very bullish on the space overall. So here's another example of one of the tokens that is earlier stage, seeing adoption. This is Solana. I've talked about this a reasonable amount. Solana is seeing adoption. It's very clear. And what's amazing, it's exactly following the Ethereum price from its last bull run. And guess what? The prices are almost identical too. So the left scale and the right scale are almost the same. They're both at roughly $1,000. Sorry, not $1,000. They're both roughly at whatever the price is now, $400, and it looks like there's a hell of a lot of upside. So it's all to play for me. We've gone through the period of consolidation, and the period of consolidation is when the market gathers the power. And we know we've got restricted supply of ETH, all the Bitcoin coming off exchanges. We've got the ETF, we've got ETH 2.0. We've got lots of adoption going on. I couldn't think of a sweeter spot for this. I mean, this is as good an opportunity as we saw in March, April, May, when I started pounding the table and getting irresponsibly long.
Raoul, how did you find your own trading and investment style, and how do you recommend someone else finding their own?
What I learned was from Paul Tudor Jones, and that helped me the most. He told me, Raoul, the best traders he's seen is their trade time horizon matches their idea time horizon. So if you are comfortable saying, I think the S&P is going down today, then you're a shorter term trader. So therefore your trade ideas should be based around those. I've seen many people say, oh, I think there's going to be, we're in the downside of the economic cycle, and then people trade it on a 1 week trade. That's a mismatch in what you're trying to trade, because an economic cycle is longer term. You need to think about those things. And where does your mind automatically go? Are you the kind of person who kind of thinks, yeah, I think oil's probably going up for the next month? Okay, that's going to help you with your time horizon. And then you need to decide what interests you. There's no point trading stuff that doesn't interest you. So find something interesting and pull that thread first and see where it goes. I found that charts opened up my world. So I could suddenly see patterns of behavior, what was moving, what wasn't moving. And I found that by flicking through charts, I'd start to get interested in different areas because the charts look good. Just like I showed you, the charts in crypto look epic. Why would I look at anything else right now if they look so good? So finding your own groove takes time, and it's honesty with yourself. What kind of person are you? I tend to like longer term themes. I tend to like the business cycle lengths. This is going to be, down cycles tend to be, used to be 12 months to 18 months, and up cycles tend to be 5 years. You kind of figure those things out and you kind of position accordingly.
Yeah. By the way, another question on a very similar theme. This is a fun, provocative question. It comes to us from Christopher M., also from the exchange. The question is, Raoul, if your accounts were hacked and set to 0 today, where would you allocate first to begin rebuilding?
Ethereum. Simple as that. Ethereum is my base investment right now. It's 70% of my entire portfolio. It's why, other things can outperform. Solana will probably outperform, but it has more risk because it doesn't have as obviously defined network effects. It doesn't have some of the other identifiers. So ETH is a higher quality trade for me. Bitcoin's a high quality trade as well, very high quality trade. I just think ETH is equally high quality for different reasons, but it's likely to outperform because of network effects, and it's earlier than Bitcoin.
Yeah, and you've also made this point before, Raoul, in terms of your asset allocation between Ethereum and Bitcoin. That's not a sort of fundamentalist religious position that you have. It can change.
Yeah, it's about what I think is going to outperform at this point in the cycle. There's nothing bad about Bitcoin. I don't like Bitcoin. I prefer ETH. No, I think ETH's going to outperform. So I want to have my money, which I've worked really bloody hard for, in the thing that's going to make the most money for me. Now, other people want to have the philosophical standpoint. That's fine. But that's not my job. My job, for myself and for clients, is to make sure people make as much money as possible. Don't forget, we're fighting the 15% hurdle rate of the central bank printing, and you got to be on your toes to try and make the money.
Yeah. Raoul, this has been a broad and deep conversation on macro, on capital markets, on crypto, on the future, on learning. How do we sum up what we've just discussed here?
Life is a learning journey. Embrace it with all it offers, because as you start learning, your mind broadens, and as it broadens, you'll find new opportunities. And that's in life in general. Like, I talk about travel a lot. Why? Because you're learning about different people and different perspectives, and it makes you more successful in life in every single way, in how you make friends, to how you invest your money, and the job opportunities you get. So always be learning and enjoy the journey.